What's up everybody and welcome back to the channel. A few years ago, I put out a video about Shigeru Miyamoto and how he was interested in the idea of making another Super Mario Bros. Movie. The news was surprising at the time considering how the '93 movie was received. The reason Miyamoto was interested in giving a Mario movie another go can be summarized down to him seeing the Virtual Console bring older games to newer hardware. He saw the potential of bringing Nintendo content into the video making world. And that idea became a reality as the new Super Mario Bros. Movie is set to release in April this year. So, with the new movie's imminent release, I thought it would be a good idea to revisit the '93 movie. It's also the movie's 30th anniversary, which makes it even more convenient. It's been about 2 years since I've sat down and watched this from beginning to end, so this should be interesting. Do I still hold the same opinions as I did back then? Is this movie as bad as people say it is, or is it misunderstood? Well, let's load this baby up in VLC because International Player is old as hell and ran on Flash, which was retired years ago, and let's get into this thing. The movie opens up with this Sega CD cutscene that shows Brooklyn 65 million years ago, with the dinosaurs talking about how nice it is with a Brooklyn accent.
You know, it just don't get no better than this. Yeah.
But the good times are over because the meteor hits. But what if the dinosaurs didn't actually go extinct? What if the impact of the meteor created a parallel dimension where the dinosaurs continue to thrive and evolve into humanoid reptile people? And what if they found a way back to the human world? In present day Brooklyn, we see a woman dropping off an object at a Catholic orphanage. She runs back through this cave where the big bad of the movie Koopa appears behind her asking about a rock. The woman then pushes a loose column to keep him back, but that causes the other supports to fall and kill her. They got Dennis Hopper on board for this thing. The object in question turns out to be an egg which hatches, and it's a baby along with a necklace that will be the focal point of this movie. We then see the Mario brothers, with Bob Hoskins playing Mario and John Leguizamo playing Luigi. I hope I said his name right. These guys are Brooklyn born and raised, but at the moment, they're broke as hell, so Mario has decided they got a job to do. I do like the brothers' profession of being plumbers is played up because you don't see that much in the games. I understand why it's not there, but I still like to see it. They hurry off to their next job, but they're beat to it by the brothers' business rivals led by mobster Anthony Scapelli. However, something else is brewing nearby. The university has taken over the construction site to search for dinosaur bones. The excavation is led by a student, Daisy, played by Samantha Mathis. Yes, that Daisy. She says they got a court order to dig here as long as they need to, but Scapelli indirectly tells her to have it finished by tonight, or somebody is about to come up missing, so she goes off to call the university for more security because hell no to that. Meanwhile, she's being stopped by some of Koopa's goons, Iggy and Spike, Koopa's henchmen and cousins. They're trying to kidnap her. Keyword, trying. Daisy replaces Peach in this movie, which probably caused some confusion at the time, but in actuality, it makes more sense because her story is tied with Luigi's, along with some other things we'll talk about later. Speaking of him, she reaches the payphone and runs into Luigi, who gives her some change to use it, and he develops a crush on her instantly. The brothers' van had broken down and they were seeing if they had some work waiting because the last job fell through. Mario pushes him to go and talk to her while he fixes the van, but she comes to him. She sees Koopa's goons watching her, so she takes him up on the offer for a ride. They get back to the construction site, and Luigi is trying to ask her lady here out on a date, with some help from Mario because he is so nervous he can barely speak in complete sentences, but to his surprise, she accepts. He does much better on the double date with Mario and his girlfriend Daniela. After the date, the party split up with Luigi and Daisy walking back to the bridge, where Daisy shows Luigi the inside of the dig site. However, they see Scapelli's men attempting to flood the place. A little before this, Daniela is kidnapped by Iggy and Spike because they think she's Daisy in disguise. Stupid! Anyway, Peach and Luigi run back home and tell Mario what's happening over at the dig site. I know Mario's been waiting for a chance to stick it to Scapelli.
Strap your belt on, kid. We're going in.
The brothers manage to turn off the water pipes but are knocked out by Iggy and Spike, and they kidnap Daisy. As stupid as they are, these two are actually good at kidnapping people. They follow the sound of Daisy's voice, which leads them to this weird portal. Daisy tries to escape back through it, but she's dragged back inside, but not before Luigi tears off her necklace. The brothers head into the portal, and this is where things get even weirder. So remember the beginning of the movie? The question asked was, what if the dinosaurs were all destroyed? What if the impact of that meteorite created a dimension where the dinosaurs continue to exist and thrive? Well, you're seeing the answer to that question. They're now in Dino Hatton. I'm kind of digging the steampunk vibe the place is going for. But oh, watch yourself guys, you have Goombas watching you. Yeah, these shrunken head monstrosities are Goombas. Wait until you see what Koopas look like. We get to see King Koopa again and his girlfriend Lena. It's here we get an explanation of why he's been after Daisy. He needs her in the rock necklace, which is a meteorite fragment. The rock is a part of a special meteorite that was chipped off when it landed 65 million years ago. When the rock is inserted into the meteorite, the dino world and the human world will merge, allowing Koopa to conquer both worlds. He needs the resources of the human world because he's mismanaged the city so badly that his people are running out of food, water, and clean air. This place is a cesspool. However, Iggy and Spike return to Koopa with Daisy, but they don't have the rock. That's currently in Luigi's possession. In response to this, Koopa sends out an alert to be on the lookout for the brothers. As they're going through the city, they meet some strange characters like this crazy old lady who's trying to rob them for cash, but instead takes the necklace. The necklace is then taken by Big Bertha, who then yeets the old lady into her car on the underpass. Oh, it gets better. She then attacks the dudes in the car she lands in, which then causes a huge ass pileup. This town is nuts! Big Bertha then flies away with the necklace, which kills their morale as they're stuck in a strange place with no way to find Daisy and no clear way to get the necklace back. They do meet this musician, Toad, who tries to cheer them up, but the cops show up and arrest him. Anti-Koopa songs are prohibited by law. The brothers stand up for him, but the cop realizes that they're the ones Koopa is looking for and stuffs them in the car too. Daisy is put into a room with the other kidnapped girls, including Daniela. Apparently Koopa has been looking for the princess for a while now, but kept striking out. There's quite a few girls here. That solves the mystery of the missing Brooklyn girls Luigi was talking about. Meanwhile, the Mario brothers are processed into the jail. Them explaining their names to the desk officer is funny because you know Mario's name is really Mario.
Okay, look, how many Marios are there between the two of you?
There's three. It's Mario, and Luigi Mario.
This photo taking part is crazy. Why are they chained up like that, and why do y'all have cameras that look like big ass guns? Y'all trying to give someone a heart attack? They're taken to lockup, and they're taking the phrase cages very literally. Toad is sharing his theories with the brothers about the worlds and what happened to the old king, and what he says is close to foreshadowing as you're gonna get. He's actually pretty spot on, but we'll save that revelation for later. The brothers aren't locked up for too long though. They're released and brought to the interrogation room where they meet Koopa, who's pretending to be a lawyer to find out the location of the meteorite. However, that facade is dropped quick once the two get suspicious and say they don't know about any rock, which makes Koopa attack Luigi. This man Koopa sanitizes his hands constantly. This world is so dirty to him that he feels like he has to wash his hands all the time. They're brought to the devolving chamber. Its purpose is what you think it would be. It devolves people into a more primitive form, and here we see Toad who's about to get devolved and turned into... I can't with the Goombas. Why are their heads so tiny? Toad didn't deserve this, man. Goombas are Koopa's main soldiers. They're stupid, but follow orders for the most part. They usually have flamethrowers on them that simulate fire flowers. There are Koopas, or to differentiate, Koopa Troopas, but you tend to see Goombas more often. Koopa threatens to devolve the brothers, but the brothers fight back, trap Koopa, and escape. The brothers hide behind a pillar covered in fungus, and a bomb is dropped down from it. You may have noticed some fungus wrapped around parts of the city. There's more to this stuff than meets the eye. They managed to steal a police car, and Mario's whipping that thing. This car chase was funny as hell, especially when Mario got them stuck on top of another car, and then when he hits the brakes and the Popo blow themselves up. What can I say? I'm a sucker for explosions. Things don't go completely their way though. They end up going down a tunnel that sends them careening off a cliff, but they're saved by the endless web of fungus around. Meanwhile, back at Koopa's lair, Koopa and Lena are chilling in a hot tub, or a mud tub in this case, where Iggy and Spike update them on the situation, and after sending them off, Koopa sends Lena to get the princess for him. Out of all the girls, Lena was able to identify Daisy because she looks a lot like her mother, who is the woman at the beginning of the movie. That woman was the queen, which makes Daisy a princess, which shocks everybody. So at this point you're probably wondering, where's the king? We'll get there. Oh, we'll get there. Back at the devolving chamber, it's Spike's turn to take a ride in it, except this time he's being evolved to make him smarter. Iggy ain't safe though, he's put through it too. The thought process here is that if Koopa makes them smarter, they will have more success catching the brothers. I mean, what can go wrong with that, right? Koopa even threatened to unalive them if they failed to give them extra motivation. However, this is going to come back to bite him later. We get back to Koopa's basement, or penthouse, I don't know, and Daisy meets Koopa and Yoshi. Ain't he cute? Daisy asks Koopa about her father. A few scenes before this, Lena reveals to Daisy that her dad is alive, if alive is what she would call it. Koopa kinda tells her the same thing, but then he starts getting a little too close to our princess here, and after completely freaking her out, she tries to run but is stopped by the giant wall of Goomba. Meanwhile, back in the desert, the Goon Squad catch up to Mario and Luigi in their Mad Max mobile, but they can't control the thing and fly over a cliff, which gets them stuck in quicksand. The brothers find them and tie them up so they can ask them some questions. The Goons and Luigi go back and forth about Daisy and the rock until Mario shuts them both up and asks the big elephant in the room, "What is this rock that everyone is talking about?" This is where the brothers are caught up to speed about the rock, but there's more. Mario asks why Koopa didn't just come through the portal like Iggy and Spike did. Well, Koopa was able to until the portal was closed off thanks to the Queen. However, the portal was unblocked thanks to Scapelli blasting it back open.
Scapelli.
Luigi then proposes a deal to trade the rock for Daisy. But before any of that happens, they need to get it back from Big Bertha. She's the owner of a bar downtown. They steal a dump truck to get there and make it over to her place. And damn, this place is kind of lit, and the boys cleaned up pretty nice. There's Big Bertha just pushing people out of the way, just shoving folks. Mario decides he's just gonna mosey on over there and smooth talk her, but he gets rocked for his efforts. But he knows what he has to do to get her attention. She requires a different approach. Watch this.
Excuse me. Will you hit me again? I've never seen such fluidity. The way your knuckles burn as you smash them into my face. Huh?
Dance with me. I'll hit you all you like.
Well played, Mario. Well played. And while he had her feeling it, he takes off with the necklace. Yoink! However, it's time to get the hell on. Lena and the Goomba troupe has shown up to the bar. They try playing keep away, only for an errant toss to land it in the hands or under the foot of Lena. Spike and Iggy are taken away. Now being able to think for themselves, they've turned against Koopa, and the brothers try and leave, but Big Bertha is there to cut them off. But wait, she's actually helping them escape, but not before dropping one of her employees. Jeez! She lets them use her stompers, which are her rocket shoes, to escape. While running away, there's another bomb attached to some fungus, and this time Luigi takes it. They escape the Goombas by jumping in a dump truck, and they make it to Koopa's tower. They get in through the boiler room and sabotage the heating system to cool the building to get past the Goombas. Apparently the Dino Hattons are cold-blooded, which is strange because dinosaurs are considered to be warm-blooded, but anyway, they even find some boiler suits that look very familiar. Now they look like the Mario Brothers. As they're heading to Koopa's lair, a squad of Koopas and Goombas enter the elevator. I don't know why, but Koopas remind me of golf irons. Does anyone else see that? The guys need a distraction, so Luigi gets the idea of getting them to vibe and dance to the elevator music, and eventually all of them start dancing in the elevator, allowing the brothers to escape. The squad leader steps in the elevator wondering what the hell is going on, and he gets them organized again. Party's over, guys. Back to work. Meanwhile, Lena pays a visit to Daisy, and Daisy asks if Lena will help her escape, but Lena does the exact opposite. She tries to kill her. She's jealous of Daisy and Koopa's interest in her, but Yoshi stops her, giving her time to escape. She runs into Goomba Toad and tries to run away from him, but then she runs into Iggy and Spike, who are most likely being taken to the devolving chamber. They ask her for help, but that's when the other guards try to burn Daisy, but they get Toad instead. However, Daisy saves him because he's been pretty nice to her while she's been held captive. It would've kinda sucked if he died. He's a cool dude. Apparently, Iggy and Spike were the king's most loyal supporters, and it's implied that Koopa might have brainwashed them and made them his lackeys when he took over. And so when you think about it, Koopa evolving these guys was a pretty dumb move because they were bound to turn on him eventually. The two take Daisy to the throne room where the giant tower of fungus is. This fungus is actually Daisy's father, the king of the Mushroom Kingdom. There was a scene earlier where Koopa was talking to him, but I wanted to save the reveal for this moment. Koopa managed to turn him into this giant tower of fungus. He was most likely Koopa's first evolving subject. With the king out of the way, he took over the Mushroom Kingdom and ran the place into the ground. However, the king never gave up. He managed to spread himself all over Dino Hatton in an effort to keep some kind of control. He's been helping the brothers whenever he got the chance to, like feeding them bob-ombs and saving them when they went off the cliffside. Daisy unshackles Yoshi and the brothers meet up with her a little bit later. The gang is back together, temporarily. Mario runs off to free Daniela and the other girls, however Luigi and Daisy run right into Koopa. They're taken captive and Koopa is ready to start the invasion. However, he needs one more thing. Lena is heading off towards the boiler room, I think, but she's caught by Koopa's guards. Koopa found out that Lena took the rock and laid a trap for her. She's going solo now. She wants the glory of merging the two dimensions herself. Unfortunately, now Koopa has the two pieces he needs to start his plan. Mario reaches the girls and beats up the guards. They take a mattress and escape through the air ducts. This looks fun as hell, I can't even lie to y'all. And they take out some of the guards along the way. They crash land outside and hit some more guards. Luigi and Daisy meet up with them, but Koopa walks up and has them at gunpoint with his Devolver gun. This is the other weapon they have besides flamethrowers, I forgot to mention that earlier. Luigi slips Mario a canister to one of the Stompers and he uses it to launch one at Koopa, pushing him over the railing and into some chandelier. But he recovers and starts shooting at them. Mario then swings over to Koopa using some fungus and he manages to get behind him and kick the rock out of his hand, which Lena manages to catch, but she falls over the railing too and gets electrocuted. She shakes it off and runs towards the meteorite, and Luigi and the girls run after her, but not before Luigi introduces himself.
Come on, girls, let's go.
Who are you?
Luigi Mario. What, you got a problem with that?
I don't got a problem. Let's go.
Okay, come on, let's go.
While this is going on, Mario is still fighting Koopa outside. Koopa still thinks he has the meteorite, but we all know where that is. They get up on this catwalk where Mario pulls out a bomb. Everyone freaks out and runs. Surely this little bomb can't be that powerful, right? Luigi and the girls catch up to Lena right as she attempts to merge both worlds together, but this was the wrong move. Why do you think Koopa was after the princess in the first place? Yeah, you can place the stone in a meteorite, but only the princess can withstand the meteorite's energy, as when Lena tries to merge the two worlds together, she ends up getting fossilized instantly. However, since the rock was still inserted into the meteorite, the worlds start merging together, which means that Koopa won, and he and Mario get transported back to Brooklyn. Koopa takes a Devo gun from the Goombas and tries to hit Mario with it, but misses and turns Scapelli into a monkey, which gets the crowd laughing. I bet Scapelli has shaken some of them down or something. That's probably why they're laughing. He got what he deserved. Daisy and Luigi manage to remove the rock from the meteorite using his tools, which would make Mario proud, and the worlds start to unmerge. Back in Donald Hatton, Koopa orders his troops to shoot Mario, but Toad uses his harmonica to get the troops dancing. Even as a Goomba, this man has been extremely helpful. Koopa starts firing wildly at the brothers, but the brothers use the devolving guns courtesy of Toad to devolve Koopa. Meanwhile, the bomb from earlier I see why people fear them so much. However, Koopa starts devolving into a full-sized T-Rex. But not so fast there, Koopa. The brothers devolve him even further until he's turned into primordial sludge. With Koopa defeated, the brothers receive a standing ovation, and since Koopa is gone, the king is turned back into his normal self. Daisy and the brothers return to the meteorite cave where Daisy opens a portal for them to return home. She decides to stay and help her father get the kingdom back up and running, which is going to need a lot of work. They share their first kiss and the brothers head back to Brooklyn. It's 3 weeks later and Mario and Danielle are making dinner, but Luigi looks so pitiful. He misses his woman. But look who shows up. Daisy walks through the door asking the brothers for help. It sounds like something's going down back in Donald Hatton, so they grab their tool belts and prepare to head out.
You're never gonna believe this.
I believe it.
You do?
I believe.
And that's the end of the movie, y'all. So what do I think about Super Mario Bros. 93? It's not horrible, I'll say that. It does have its problems, but it's a fun watch, so my opinion is pretty much the same. There were parts of this movie that genuinely made me laugh. And if you can do that and have a story that I can follow, I'll sit down and see what you're selling. They picked the right people to play these roles. Bob Hoskins and Dennis Hopper were the right people to play Mario and Koopa. Their performances are the ones that really stood out to me, especially Dennis Hopper. Koopa is such an asshole that you can't wait until he's finally brought down. However, his intentions are to help his people, but he's such a tyrant that the negatives outweigh his intentions. I mentioned this before, but I liked how the brothers' jobs of being plumbers was used in the movie, and how their plumbing skills and knowledge of tools were something they could rely on in certain situations. It was interesting seeing Mario go from not believing all the weirdness going on around him to believing things wholeheartedly by the end. On the other hand, there are things that I noticed that would be jarring to the average Mario fan at the time. First up, Princess Daisy. Why Daisy? Why not Princess Peach / Princess Toadstool, who's more of a well-known character? Well, I can think of a few reasons. Number 1, Daisy wasn't revealed to be a princess until later in the movie, so calling her Princess Toadstool wouldn't have worked. Number 2, the princess wasn't known as Peach in the West at the time of the movie. That wasn't until Yoshi's Safari released a few months later, so facing this dilemma, it would have been easier to go with the more obscure character. Daisy is from Super Mario Land, which is a more obscure title in the grand scheme of things, so it made her the perfect substitute for Peach. Another point of contention is the overall tone of the movie. Let me ask you guys a question. Does this movie feel like Mario to you? To me, it doesn't, at least by aesthetic. The worlds of Mario are usually very vibrant and colorful, but this movie has more of a steampunk, sci-fi vibe, especially by the time you reach Dino Hatton. On the other hand, I would like to see Nintendo and Miyamoto consider a steampunk level in a mainline Mario game. I would love to see how they tackle that aesthetic. Another thing to consider, which I guess adds on to my first point, is the time that this movie came out. If you consider the 1985 title the first true game, the Super Mario Bros. Series was fairly new at the time, and they were trying to adapt the video game character to live action. How could you possibly adapt this? The brothers didn't even speak at the time unless you count the cartoons, which was most likely the base for the brothers in the movie. This was the first feature-length live-action film based on a video game, so this was new air for everyone involved. However, this new movie has people excited, and probably Miyamoto himself. Technology has advanced to the point where the Mario world is able to be replicated and not look campy. This movie will be a more accurate portrayal of the Mario world and characters. But overall, this movie is okay to me. The development hell this movie went through. There were creative differences behind the scenes that made filming this thing a living nightmare. The script was rewritten and changed so many times that the actors didn't even bother memorizing their lines. Why bother when the next script change could happen at any minute? Hoskins and Leguizamo hated working on the film so much that they were constantly drinking throughout production just to get through it. And Dennis Hopper was so fed up with the producers and directors' unprofessionalism that he chewed them out for hours. Richard Edson and Fisher Stevens, who played Spike and Iggy respectively, gave up on the script and improvised all their lines in the film. They're lucky they had a good group of actors to pull this thing together. I believe that if this movie had a different name, it would have done a little bit better, but being associated with Mario, and being this different from the Mario everyone was used to, it didn't have a chance. This movie has its problems, but if you sit through it, you'll find some enjoyable parts in it, and sometimes, that's enough. Thank you for watching, guys. This was a video 2 years in the making, and I hope you all enjoyed it. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.
DJ Sonic 3.